We can't hear you.
Good morning. Good morning, Kenya. And we've just woken up to a very sad news of the death of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And it is sad. It is very, very sad. The country is mourning. Everybody is trying to wonder what really happened. Kenya is mourning following the reports of the death of Raila Odinga, the country's former minister and a long-time opposition leader, has died while receiving medical treatment in India. According to the reports from the local Indian media, Raila Odinga collapsed during a morning walk, and he was receiving treatment in, I don't know, I can't pronounce that word properly. Ayurvedic Kochi, somewhere in India, where he has been undergoing therapy. He was rushed to a nearby hospital in Koothattukulam, where the doctors pronounced him dead on arrival. Yeah, I think it is information reaching Africa is that he is reportedly, uh, it's reported that he must have died of cardiac arrest. As of this report, Odinga's family and the ODM party have not issued an official statement. Government officials have also not confirmed or denied this particular news while we are going on air, but BBC, Reuters, and CNN have confirmed that Raila Odinga is no more. And we begin our story this morning with Leo and Christine here, who have been following up this story. And karibu sana, Leo. I know it is it's a very, very sad day for the ODM fraternity and especially Kenya and people who knew Raila Odinga. For those who are watching, please send your tributes to Africa. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do so. And we want to pass our message of condolence to the family of Raila Odinga, friends to the ODM fraternity, and Kenya in general is mourning uh, Raila Odinga. Leo, karibu sana. Can you say something?
Thank you so much, Mzalendo. Of course, indeed, it is a very sad day. It's a Black Wednesday. That the news that we are waking up with is not pleasing. And it's really hard to come into terms with the news that we are getting. It's so far been confirmed by the very person that he was with. It's also been confirmed by our media houses. So what they're waiting is just the official announcement, but it's now a reality that Raila Odinga is no more. I know this news hits hard, despite the fact that he was a man who was liked and maybe hated with equal measure. But at this particular moment, the entire country is really confused on how to accept this kind of news. Nobody expected it. I remember the last 2 days we saw him with that. He is a certain businessman from Migori was with him in India. We saw him in a restaurant and he was so jovial, though, making some stories despite maybe some controversies about his health. And we thought that those were just stories. So we saw him 2 days ago. So nobody expected that this kind of thing is going to happen. If maybe we were informed that he was admitted and in some critical condition, like what has been happening to most of the people, it would have been easy. People would have been maybe somehow psychologically prepared. But what I can say is that today we are just mourning the loss of a true giant, because Raila Odinga was more than a leader. He's somebody who was the heartbeat of the nation. He's somebody who was absence was news. His presence was also news. He was a unifier. He managed to unify the entire country, specifically his Luo community. And he was also a voice that whenever he spoke, people would listen. Whenever things maybe went wrong, or whenever people wanted to take direction, his voice will closely be followed. He's somebody whose voice was never ignored, whether he was giving a positive comment or a negative comment, whether he was giving a direction or withdrawing a direction. And this is a gentleman who also taught us the meaning of sacrifice. If somebody who stood tall in the face of adversity and never wavered in pursuit for justice and unity. He never wavered in pursuit of whatever thing that he wanted. Recently, we can remember how he boldly represented Kenya in the AU elections, something that maybe most Kenyans have never hailed from. So he was the author of Kenyan politics, and if you go through the Kenyan politics, Raila's name will be mentioned as early as 1980s coup, despite the fact that we aren't sure if he was part of it, but his name is mentioned in each and every step of Kenyan politics. So as we try to come in terms with these immense laws, let us just honor his memory by upholding some of the values that he taught us. But I know it is not going to be easy. I don't know how we are going to take it. Specifically the people who come from the political thought like mine. And we normally say that when it comes to some other matters, we will always use our brains and use our degrees and our maybe our thoughts. But when it comes to politics, we will always wait to hear what Baba is saying. So it really leaves some great holes that I don't know if it will be possible to be filled, because politically, I don't know where we are going to start from, yeah, and also the impact, how the news is going to impact the entire country. So it's really sad, Zalen, right now. I don't know the words that I can use to describe the laws, but I'm trying to get into term with the news that we are getting. Of course, it's true. There's nothing we can do, but we know we'll maybe just come in time with it and see how things turn out. Thank you.
Thank you for that tribute, and asante sana once again. Let me introduce Christine, who is also a politician and has interacted many times in the political arena with other politicians. Christine, what do you make of this day?
Thank you very much, Zalendo. It is indeed a sad day for Kenya, and it's very painful to lose such an enigma in Kenya, not just for the Luo community, but to Kenya as a whole. He was Baba, and the capital Baba. He was the glue that binded us as a country together. He was the stone, the center stone of Kenya. We have lost him. He has left us in confusion, especially as a community, the Luo community. We don't know. He covered us. He covered the nakedness of us as Luo community. He covered the nakedness of us as a country. We were called Kenyans. We were very proud to be called Kenyans because of Baba. It is indeed painful. We are saddened. We just hope that we will soldier on as a country, but it will never be the same again. Without Baba, it will never be the same again uh, in Kenya. That's all for now.
Yeah, it's indeed sad. I can hear it from your voice, and sorry for the loss of a friend
Mm.
and a colleague. I mean, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Leo, let me come back to you again. ODM party was celebrating 20 years, and Baba was expected to be uh, in Mombasa. I don't know whether the celebration is still on, was still on, or it ended without his appearance. Leo.
Zalendo, I think it's coincidental. I don't know what I can be able to say because
Yeah.
at this time is when ODM was celebrating the 20 years of resilience and the political activities since its inception. And it was one of its kind, that something that maybe had not been happening. So it might have been just a coincidence that at the same time, at the same moment that this thing happens. People are really worried that how comes that this kind of events are taking place and Raila is not absent, even though the people that are currently leading the ODM were able to stand in and ensure that things work. At some point, he requested that because most people want to have a feeling of ODM at 20, then the dates be pushed so that they can be able to traverse the entire country. Little did we know that it is going to come to the end. Things are going to turn the way it has turned, and the ODM at 20 celebration is, I think, one of the things that people had some expectations, and it is turning out to be one of the most saddest moments. It's turning out that as ODM is celebrating its 20 years of its political activities and resilience, then one of the pioneers, one of the pillars, one of the main pillars of the party, one whose presence defines the ODM party, just had to take a rest. So I don't know how this one can be translated, but it's really a tragedy. And it has happened at the time that it ought not to have happened. If maybe it was the human wish, then he would not have arrested at this time that his political party was celebrating 20 years of active politics, 20 years of political impact, and 20 years of resilience. So it's really sad. It's really sad. And this one has really touched the entire ODM fraternity. Imagine that feeling whereby you are celebrating your anniversary, or maybe some of the achievements, then sadness befall you. It's really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, it is indeed very, very sad. And Jamlek Ngondi, you are asking that we want CCTV footage of how he collapsed while walking. I think that news is rather tragic. People are still trying to absorb the news, and a lot will follow. We will follow up this matter here on Africa, and if such a footage emerges, then we'll be the first one to show you on Africa platform. So just keep locked here on Africa. Probably we will have that footage before the end of today. But the sad thing is that Raila is no more. I want to say thank you to Elijah Anditi, who is also watching. Thank you for being part of this day. Andrew Masaku, Fidelis Studios, Gilbert Ngesa, Elizabeth Ivati, Julius Ngetich, sad day for Kenya. Joas Wanjala, a very, very sad day indeed. If you're watching us on X, thank you for joining me here. where I am, it is 4 a.m. We had to break the night with coming into the studio with this sad breaking news. And you know, Christine, I don't know from the political angle, uh, how do we go from here? How how will the opposition or the broad-based government organize themselves from here?
I'm telling him, Zalendo, we are at a crossroads. Oh, let me allow
Uh,
Christian maybe
yeah,
proceed.
Christine, can you say something? What is the
with
political
the
politics? Yeah. Mm?
yeah, the politics that we are likely to see is ODM's remaining steadfast in the broad-based government, and I hope that happens. I hope they'll stay faithful to Raila's ideas because it was good for the country. And uh, uh, according as per me, I think ODM Raila's left when ODM was not stable.
Mm.
He has left us when ODM is in is in total confusion. And with his passing, I foresee problems, more problems within the ODM. I
Mm.
foresee more problems within the ODM, serious problems, because he has gone at a time when ODM was at its lowest as a party. That's what
Oh,
I think.
yeah. Leo, maybe you've got a contrary view, or do you support Christine's statement that ODM was at its lowest in regard to even popularity? Its popularity had
Mhm.
really gone down among its strongholds throughout the country. I don't know, Leo. What do you think about the situation in the party uh,
I
in
think
regard? Mm,
I'll agree with Christine. Raila's gone at the moment when the party needed him most. This is
yeah.
the time that my party, ODM, needed his guidance. My party, ODM, needed his parental maybe care so that he can be able to put up the party in the house. Remember, it has happened at a moment where we are having two factions. We are having a faction that felt that it was wrong for the party to join hands and work with the president. And we are also having a faction that believed that that was the best decision that they made as a party to work with the ruling party. So we've seen the opposition that has been there within the party, and all along, Raila has been making movements to galvanize and put this party together so that they can all have an agreement. They've made steps, and up to now, I had a guess that this ODM at 20 event is going to sort out issues, and moving out of this event after the celebration of the ODM at 20, they're going to speak in one voice. You can remember there was a point when even others could not accept that they are having some working relationship. He tried and brought people like Sifuna together, and Sifuna is among the people who was part of the signing of such kind of an agreement. So despite the fact that they've not been speaking one language, but somebody would have foreseen a situation whereby, they are going to come together and make an agreement. Remember, this is the year that ODM has been doing the grassroots elections, which is not yet concluded. There are some elective posts that have been done. So it is so critical that this thing is happening at the point when the house is building up. This is a house that maybe was destroyed, was shaken by some external and internal forces, and now they are point when you're now rebuilding the house, then the architect or the person who has got the plan of building this house all of a sudden leaves. So it's really left ODM in limbo, and we we don't know what is going to happen, because now coming to bring these heads together is going to be a challenge. Imagine a situation whereby this party is currently having people who are speaking different voices, and the only person who will now bring them together so that they can reason, the only person whose voice they will listen to is normal. So I know ODM is going to face it rough. And maybe as the believers in the party, my prayer is that we believe in the vision and the plans, or maybe the dreams of Raila, the dreams he had with the ODM party, so that the party can stabilize. But it won't be that easy. There's going to be a lot of destabilization, and the voice that used to bring people together whenever things went south is normal. So here is a time whereby we are going to see several divisions taking place. If you can recall, though I wasn't able to know what was happening politically in the 1990s or the 1994 when Jaramogi died. It is the death of Jaramogi that separated the fort, when the people who believed contrary, like Raila Odinga, went separately and formed their own party. So we're going to see a similar thing happening. He has left at the point where we are having the interim officials, the chairman, the party leaders that we're having were not elected, they were just on interim basis, and some of them have not yet believed in the dreams and the visions and the aspirations of ODM party. So it's going to be hard for ODM to recollect itself, and it will take maybe some magic to get somebody who will be able to put this party together. So it's really, really, really hitting the party hard. And secondly, we're also going to have some, the president's engagement with Raila at least try to stabilize his political capability. We know there are problems in the country, but the fact that ODM and Raila gave him support at least gave him some upper hand, and there are some things that he was able to manage through the political goodwill. So now that Raila is normal, William Ruto is also a worried man. He also lost a lot, because now the only person who will maybe put the pressure that was piled on him and maybe try to tell people, okay, let us give him time. We are trying to help him do this, and this is normal. So I think political-wise, William Ruto is the saddest man today, because at the moment he's been left alone. He's been left with an ODM that he cannot control. He doesn't have a specific person that he can approach to ODM and tell him, now, can you help me do this and this? So right now he's been left with an ODM whereby Sifuna will wake up and speak a different language with Kaloma and the rest. So it's really sad politically, and the political landscape in Kenya is going to change, and things are not going to be the same moving forward, just starting right from today.
Asante sana Leo. Kwa wale watazamaji wetu wale wako kule sehemu za Mombasa, sehemu za Tanzania, ni siku ya huzuni sana sisi kama Wakenya. Tunaomboleza kifo cha bwana Raila Odinga, aliyekuwa mwanasiasa mshupavu na kiongozi wa upinzani kwa miaka mingi sana kule nchini Kenya. Christine, unaonaje ODM vile Leo amesema, na wewe pia ulikuwa umeangazia kidogo swala la chama cha ODM. Unaona kama kutakuwa na mgawanyiko katika chama cha ODM kutokana na kifo cha bwana Raila Odinga? Chris, ngoja kidogo. Christine, unaweza nisikia? Wacha nikukulia. Yes, sema sasa.
Asante sana mzalendo. Mgawanyiko kwa ODM kulianza kuonekana kitambo, hata kwa hizo masiku za kitambo, kabla Raila hata tuambiwe Raila ni mgonjwa ama ako incapacitated in a way. Hata kwa ile rally walikuwa nayo Kisii, kulikuwa na mgawanyiko mpaka maneno ikakuwa why Raila didn't show up whatever. Sasa hiyo mgawanyiko pande yangu naona itakuwa zaidi. Sababu kila mtu sasa, Raila was the glue. Raila could tell them what to do. You see the way they say, ODM says Raila akituambia left ni left, akituambia right ni right. Saa hii kuone vile mambo iko kwa ODM, hakuna hierarchy na kila mtu pale anataka yake. Sasa mgawanyiko ndio itakuwa kabisa, kila mtu ataenda pande yake, atasema kivyake, huyu mwingine aseme kivyake, huyu mwingine aseme kivyake. Sifuna atakuja aseme yeye kama secretary general amesema hii, chair lady atasema yeye amesema hii, deputy watasema wamesema hii. Unaona kama ile vile Sifuna alikuwa anakuja anasema kitu hivi, Raila defended him, used to defend him, anasema Sifuna so now Sifuna doesn't have somebody to defend him. Yeah, but mgawanyiko iko na itakuwa zaidi, and the few days to come, things will come up, stories will be there, the politics will be very heated as the days go by. We're just praying that if they sit down, they agree, so that they bring to the public a united front for Raila.
All right, thank you, Christine. We take a small commercial break. We'll be back with more stories that we have gathered about Raila Odinga.
Breaking news. Former Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga dies in India. Kenya is in mourning following reports that Raila Amolo Odinga, the country's former Prime Minister and longtime opposition leader, has died while receiving medical treatment in India. According to reports from local Indian media, Raila Odinga collapsed during a morning walk at an Ayurvedic retreat in Kochi, where he had been undergoing therapy. He was rushed to a nearby hospital in Koothattukulam, where doctors pronounced him dead on arrival, reportedly from cardiac arrest. As of this publication, the Odinga family and ODM party have yet to issue an official statement. Government officials have also not confirmed or denied the news, though tributes and condolence messages have begun to pour in from Kenyan leaders and the international community. A life of service and struggle, Raila Odinga, aged 80, was a towering figure in Kenya's political history, a man whose influence spanned decades of reform, resistance and national dialogue. The son of Kenya's first vice president, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Raila spent his life championing democracy and governance reforms. He served as Prime Minister from 2008 to 2013 under the Grand Coalition government formed after the disputed 2007 elections. Throughout his career, he remained a symbol of opposition politics, contesting multiple presidential elections and earning admiration and criticism in equal measure. Reactions and national mood shockwaves have rippled across Kenya and the African continent as news of his death spreads. Social media platforms have been flooded with messages of disbelief, grief and tributes to a man many considered the people's president. International leaders, including from the African Union and neighboring states, have expressed condolences, praising Odinga's dedication to democracy, regional peace and Pan-African ideals. Awaiting official confirmation, Afrique24 is closely monitoring this developing story and will update as soon as official confirmation and statements are released by the Odinga family and the Kenyan government. By Afrique24 News Desk.
Well, yes, Leo, can you please tell me what you remember about Baba? What do you remember about him significantly that has struck your mind and has made you support Raila Odinga for this long?
Most of us maybe what I can say, there are some of us who maybe might not have been interested in politics, but the existence of the name Raila in politics have really drawn so many people into the political platform. either to support his dreams or his vision, or to oppose his dreams and vision. So if you look at the Kenyan politics, the defining factor, the defining moment is always Raila Odinga. And even if you look at the presidential elections that have always been done, for there to be a larger turnout, Raila must be on the ballot, so that as many people will come out to vote him, and as equal people will also come out to vote him out. If you look at the rerun that we had in 2017, the turnout was low simply because Raila Odinga was not on the ballot. And that one tells you how he's somebody who defined the Kenyan politics. He's somebody that I've known as a defender of human rights. If you look at our history, when the Kenyans maybe were getting oppressed and under the leadership of President Daniel Moi. So he's one man who will stand, who will voice out and represent the voices of the people who are voiceless fearlessly. He's also a man who is politically strategic. He knows when to stop, or he knows when to end, he knows when to push, and he also knows when now to relax and stop pushing. And this one will tell you the several handshakes and agreements and MOUs that he had with the governments that have been in power. He knows when people should be doing politics and agitating for what belongs to them. And he also knows when people now should pause politics and put the Kenyan interest in front. Is somebody that we can also remember as a fighter, who is somebody who fought for his place, and is somebody who, when he believes in something, he doesn't care whether it's going to hurt you or the opinion that you're going to have. That is why when he believed that his time in Fort Kenya ended and he wanted to pursue a different route, he did not threaten that I'm going to leave Fort Kenya. He resigned honorably and went for a by-election, something that nobody has ever done. Today, we see people who differ with their political parties, and they differ in ideologies, but still stick to those political parties because of greed, because they want to keep on earning their salaries and allowances. And if they were to emulate what Raila did, they would be saying that now that we don't share the same visions, we don't share the same ideologies with these political parties, then we can resign and seek fresh mandate. That is what Raila did, because he believed in what he was doing and he had to make all the sacrifices. He's somebody who doesn't believe in it is either my way or no way. We saw it in 2007, despite the fact that all the indicators were showing that he had won the elections, and the people behind him, including the current president, were really helping him to fight for what they believed was rightfully his. But it reached a moment when he said that, you see, the entire country is more important than me. So there's no need of maybe losing the country so that I get what belongs to me. And he retreated back and allowed to share power with President Kibaki. So he's a unifier, and of course, I can tell you, in his absence in the party ODM is not going to be ODM again. If you want to know that he's always the unifier, all the parties that you've been living, he's always been the party. Forget about the names. He acquired this ODM 6 months to elections and almost won the election, or won the elections in court. So he's somebody that is going to be missed a lot. He's a brand, as I said earlier, is the heartbeat of the nation. His absence makes news, and his presence also makes news. So he's somebody that you cannot understand him. If you want to start studying Raila Odinga, is a study that you won't be able to understand. He's just a mystery in himself. And he led one of the most successful political parties. We've had political parties like KANU, and they are not active. So for the 20 years that he led the ODM party, this is a party that has been consistent. And you can remember even the parties, the only thing that they've not wanted maybe to take is the presidential power. But you can even remember these parties that we've been having taking power. They never live beyond 10 years. They never live beyond the first term. They keep on changing. And I can also be sure that in the next election, they're not going to have a political party called UEDA. So it's really a great loss. And for the community where I come from, the only unifying factor was Raila Odinga, and I can tell you his absence is really going to be felt, and we are going to start seeing what we've been seeing in other communities, whereby we will not be seeing a unified community called Luo. You know, Luos have always been unified, whether you are in Luo in Mombasa, you are in Migori, you are in Kisii, you are anywhere. Luos have always been Luo, they've always been having one house. So, unlike other communities, I'm very sure that right now we are going to see situations whereby people are going to identify with their clans, people are going to identify with their dialects and such kind of things. So it's really a sad loss to the community. And at this particular moment, you know, when somebody is present, you might not be able to realize how important they are. But at this particular moment is where people are going to realize that, oh, we've been having a community and there's a glue that been put this community together. He's also ensured some good relationship between his community and the neighboring or some other communities. That is why if you come from the Luo and you go to coast, you'll always find that there is that good relationship that has always been built on his presence and his leadership. So I don't think even right now in my community we have a leader of his caliber who can speak and be heard right from the Luos in Busia to the Luos in Kehancha to the Luos in Mombasa up to the Luos in Turkana. I don't think we have leaders who will speak and maybe will just be heard in South Nyanza, some will be heard in Central, some will be heard in Kisumu and such kind of things. So it's really a great loss that we have to get in terms with it, but it will take us time maybe to gain the momentum. It's not going to be easy.
Thank you, Leo, for that. And I mean, um, Raila received a lot of praise in the continent, and his peace efforts in southern Sudan and many parts of Africa. Indeed, he was an enigma, and people loved Raila Odinga. The people loved Raila Odinga. A life of service, struggle, and finally, God called him home at the age of 80 years old. He was a towering figure in Kenyan political history, a man whose influence spanned decades of reform, resistance, and a national dialogue like we are having right now. Without him, we would not even be here, you know, talking about the son of the first Kenyan vice president, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. That Jaramogi was one of the founding fathers of the nation. And he also had some sacrifices that he made, just like his son. He stepped down for Kenyatta to become the president. Raila spent his life championing democracy and good governance and reforms. For those who don't know, Raila also served as a prime minister from the year 2008 to 2013, thereabout, under the Grand Coalition government formed after the dispute in 2007, which, uh, according to many, uh, he won that election and would have been the president. Now, throughout his career, he remained a symbol of opposition politics until lately when he joined the broad based government. He also has contested in multiple presidential elections, earning, admiration and criticism in equal measure. So, reactions uh, for those who are watching us from Mtembei platform, X platform, please make sure that you also subscribe to Africa 24 so that I can see some of your comments without jumping into the other channels to look at what you're saying. But today we are just going to give tribute to one of the great sons of the soil, and that is Raila Omolo Odinga. And his news of his death has spread across the African continent and the whole world. And you can see the social media platforms are flooded with a lot of messages of disbelief, grief, and tributes to a man many considered the people's president. Uh, yeah, and I personally, Leo, had a very good experience with Raila Odinga when I was still in my, I was still a teenager then. Uh, we did some business with a good friend of mine, Mugo, and Raila was to pay us some money. So I went to his office, courtesy of Tale. At that time, he had a political office somewhere in Upper Hill, and I met Miguna for the first time in Raila's office, and they were one of the first people to see the hammer that was brought by Bosco that particular morning, and Raila drove it, like tested it in the compound in my presence. He moved it up and down, and he was asking, this hammer's got very big tires. I don't know whether it will manage the campaigns in Marsabit. Suppose it has a puncture. How do we even change the tire for the hammer? That is what Raila said when he was presented the hammer by Bosco and his team. So, I mean, we had a chat. We took enough photos in his office with Miguna and Philip Petale, and it was just a wonderful experience. But one thing I knew about Raila Odinga is that he was an honest man when it came to business, and that is the reason why you don't find him having a lot of controversy when it comes to money. Uh, and my our first check that we received from that I received was from Raila Odinga, and I received it at the Pan Africa Hotel, and that was such a good experience to receive some money from the Enigma. And I always say that that is the was a huge amount that I received for the first time from the former prime minister after doing some services for him. So Raila was a good man. He was honest. He will be missed by many. I can see Softy G saying Kenya has lost a hero. Thank you, Softy, for coming into Africa. Kenya has lost a hero. Asante sana. Metabel, yes, Alex, good morning. Take heart, bro. Alex is also saying, rest in peace. Long live Raila Odinga. Yes, yes. Thank you guys for just sending your tributes to Raila Odinga. Good morning, fellow Panis. I would like to take this chance to convey my sincerest condolence to you, the family of Raila Odinga, the Enigma, Asante Sana, Metabel, number one. Thank you very much. And many, many who are watching us on X. Omari Kanyari, thank you very much for sending your tribute. Freddy, Lastborn, thank you. Asante Sana, Babalao, Asante Vincent Ochieng, Franklin Wanjala, Nyaga, asante sana. Patrick Renison, asante sana. Panzila Music, thank you very much. Wow, I mean, today it's a very, very, very sad day, Leo. And I don't know, and I don't know how, when you lose to the Raila's family, Winnie, Junior, to the wife, to close family friends, to people who depend on Raila Odinga. either directly or indirectly. I mean, today is a very, very sad day for them, and for Kenya in general. I don't know what his good close friend lately, William Ruto, would say. I don't know whether you've seen any statement, Leo, from the president himself.
I think the president has not given a statement. Remember, there was signing of parliamentary bills taking place in the State House in the morning, and if you look at his mood, somebody who studied some literature, so if you look at his mood, I would tell there is something wrong. He was so feeble today, the way he
Mm.
presented himself. Though he can't be able to make the statement as far as protocol is concerned before the family breaks the news. Then from that, I know they are going to have some emergency cabinet meeting, and that is when they'll be able to address the issue. But as I told you earlier, is one of the person who've been affected most. Remember, this is the guy who been a backup to his government, despite all the demos and the opposition you've been facing from Gachagua and the rest. So at this moment, I can't try to imagine what is the feeling. It's really a mixed reaction at the moment, and we hope that he will cope up. And for the likes of you who always been championing for the one term, from the other side, I think you people are now feeling that maybe there must be a reality in the one term, but things are going to change.
Well, Leo, I don't think I the one term and
If you
the
now
two term.
flip-flop in the political side, for the only hope that President Ruto have been having on getting a second term is that having some solid backup that can be able to galvanize and maybe consolidate the vote.
I feel
At the moment,
the backup.
this is now favorable, and the gap won't
No,
really.
I think this is a different opinion. I have a different opinion about all this. This might be the only gluing factor that the ODM party needed. This is a gluing fact that the ODM party needed. The only thing that is will be lacking is leadership and direction. But Raila's death could be a gluing factor for the warring factions within the political movement. I think this is a time when each and every leader, the Babu Owinos, the Sifunas, will come together and make ODM the party that Raila really envisioned it to be, because they can't go on like this. Otherwise, most of if the wrangles if wrangles will be within ODM, and I pray to God that that does not happen. If wrangles are going to be within ODM, that we will see many factions within the party. The Costarians will have their own. And Leo, what I've seen lately politically with the Oparanya and the rest, I've not seen him working with the on the same page with most of the ODM lieutenants. I've seen him trying to bring together the Lua unity and calling on people like Wetangula to break their parties and form one tribal unit, or one political tribal unit from Western region. I think politics in Kenya is taking that direction, because Kisi also are forming one tribal unit by Matiangi, and then in Central there is another tribal unit that is coming on with Rigiji. Kalonzo has got his own tribal movement in Ukambani, and the Luos right now is leaderless. You know, I would say that we are leaderless.
I didn't expect that one to come from you, Mozalendo, saying they are leaderless. And Actually, I know we'll get to that conversation later, but I partly agree with you. I heard not this gentleman, the former governor of Paranya, trying to chart a different way. Though Paranya's reached his political menopause, he's became a governor, and the only seat he can go for is maybe the presidency, and he has got to vote for this kind of imaginary unity. And when he sees people like Matiang'i saying that they're going to run for the presidency, and people reminding them that you first have to consolidate your tribesmen or maybe your region behind you. So he's also chatting that way. So are you trying to say that this event, the laws of Raila, is now going to make maybe people like Sifuna, the Babu, and the rest to come together and say, for the sake of the dreams and the aspirations of the Enigma, let us now put our differences together and speak the same language, and maybe in a response, maybe to giving him a befitting send off, we now maybe go the way he was trying to show us. Are you not seeing that kind of scenario where they come together and now, as Sifuna say, because Raila's heart was working with Ruto, just to give him a peaceful rest, can we now maybe pull towards that direction?
Yeah, that's what I just told you. I said that maybe this death will bring the warring factions together, and maybe at some point we might see if they cannot come together, then there will be a very very big rift. And the reason why I brought the story of Paranya is that because ODM has always been this national political movement that covers the entire country. Now, with the absence of Raila, or the absence, that is the absence of leadership. That is what I meant, and you know that very well. That the absence of the leadership of Raila Odinga, then we have got Joe's factions that come from the coastal region. So this might fragment the party with the kind of politics that we are seeing coming from the opposition and coming from even the presidency itself. This is going to really fragment the opposition. You've seen William Ruto also consolidating the Rift Valley. You've seen Gideon Moy coming into fold. You've seen the Alafar Buzeki, people who differed with him. He has also brought them on board. Alfred Kitera, everybody is being brought on board. So the struggle here is the tribal numbers. If you read the politics well, then you know that the struggle in Kenya today is the tribal numbers, that people are working very hard to get those numbers on board. So with the absence of Raila Odinga, who is this guy or lady who is going to bring the Luo community together? Because that is the politics that is going to play moving forward. Leo Nyabaya.
I get you. I get you. I get you. That is true. I know the number, and I've always been telling people, despite the noise that we're making of the Gen Z and whatever, that our political identity still remains to be tribal, and this one has always been exposing itself on a daily basis. So now, with the absence of Raila, I think as the Luo community, the Luo community are not the majority, but Raila's leadership was able to get some other communities to pull them together so that their numbers can count. Because if the Luos were supposed to go as a Luo, we are not even number three, we are not even number four. If you look at the population, but the fact that Raila was able to galvanize and bring in the Western, and which were now included as part of the Luo voting bloc, and to bring in the coast and some parts of Turkana, that is why the Luos maybe enjoyed that. But if they were to go maybe separately as a Luo community, they cannot even be able to maybe vouch for number two or something like that. So it's going to be a challenging moment moving forward. The vacuum is big, but let us hope that the people who've always been saying that their leaders, once a leadership vacuum exists, then a leader will always rise and fill it. It happened when Jaramogi Oginga was in the leadership. he died, and of course the people who maybe were seen to be the closest ties were not able to do it. So maybe as we proceed, I'll join you. I want to take maybe a break of some 10 minutes. I'm having some briefing somewhere, then I'll get back.
All right, Leo. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. And I know we will continue with this conversation later on in the course of the day. Leo has taken a small break, but he'll be back. Let me try and see what is happening in the social spaces to see what people are actually saying about the enigma. I want to see what is happening. Mm. I think leaders have started gathering in Raila Odinga's current home. The way I'm seeing people are gathered in Raila Odinga's current home at the moment, trying to, they're just coming into terms with the loss of Baba. And Miguna has also Miguna have also sent some condolences to Raila Odinga. Yeah, I have just heard the sad news uh, of uh, of Raila Odinga. So that was Miguna. I'll put it up there for you guys to see. For those who have not come across the news of the news from Miguna. So Miguna said something at least, for in this day. I've seen Larry Madio also posting something about Raila Odinga. Uh, Babu Wino has also posted something on Raila Odinga. So I mean, it is indeed very 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 sad. We've been following up these stories here on Africa, and many people who have been with us this morning. Lily Chepto, asante sana. CEO Julius Kiplagat, Komen, thank you very much for tuning on Africa. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, this is where we talk about politics in a neutral manner, and you can bring your views. Dabi, thank you very much. Omar Kanyari, Babalao, thank you guys for tuning in, and many others who I'm not able to read their messages this evening. Asanteni sana for being part of this discussion this evening. Asanteni sana. We've been here with Leo. Christine had joined me earlier on, and we are just mourning this day. And the leaders have started gathering in Raila Odinga's home in Karen. I think Raila will be given a state funeral. That is very obvious. And guys, please make the first step. And if you like our content, if you like how we present some of these things, please give us a shout. Make sure that you are part of this Africa 24 family. Go to YouTube YouTube and look for Africa AFRIQ 24, and there you can always find uh, our podcast and also our blog post that we normally post on African news, and especially news from our country, Kenya. Uh, Guys, I got to leave. It has been a pleasure having you this morning. And even though we continue to mourn the enigma, indeed, Kenya is at a loss. Kenya is at a great loss. We have lost one of the sons of the great soil. International leaders, including the African Union, neighboring states, have expressed condolences and praising Raila Odinga dedication to democracy. This is somebody who was very dedicated to the democratic cause and regional peace and Pan-African ideals. So Raila Odinga was a Pan-Africanist, and he will go into the books of history as one of the great leaders who sacrificed for his country. And we monitor this developing story, and we will be giving you more updates as soon as uh, the official statement is released by Odinga's family and the government of Kenya. I know they are still coming into terms about this tragedy that has occurred this morning. So I would like you to make sure that you subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to our channel, follow us on X, follow us on our Facebook page for more of such stories and many more that we normally have here in our discussion. We don't only have politics, we also have our political, for those who love soccer, we normally have our soccer shows that come on a Monday and Sunday to analyze what is happening in the Premier League. Agozi Tharaka, asante sana. Lily, I think CEO Julius Kipligat Komen, asante sana. Walter, asante sana for being a part of this discussion this morning. Guys, asante sana. From here where I am, it is 4:30 a.m. In the morning. I have to take a very cold shower and rush to my next duty. So asante sana for being part of this, and my condolences to the entire family of Raila Amolo Odinga, to the ODM fraternity, and to very close friends of Raila Baba, to people who have been following me Mzalendo in politics. Poleni sana, poleni sana. Tunaombea na tunaombea nchi yetu tuwe watulivu na tuangalie ni nini tutakaifanyia huyu mzee ili iwe kumbukumbu la maana kabisa kwa taifa la Kenya. Otherwise, asanteni sana kwa kuungana na mimi katika siku ya huzuni katika Afrika mzima na dunia mzima na Kenya haswa. Tunaomboleza kifo cha Raila Amolo Odinga.
Breaking news. Former Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga dies in India. Kenya is in mourning following reports that Raila Amolo Odinga, the country's former Prime Minister and longtime opposition leader, has died while receiving medical treatment in India. According to reports from local Indian media, Raila Odinga collapsed during a morning walk at an Ayurvedic retreat in Kochi, where he had been undergoing therapy. He was rushed to a nearby hospital in Koothattukulam, where doctors pronounced him dead on arrival, reportedly from cardiac arrest. As of this publication, the Odinga family and ODM party have yet to issue an official statement. Government officials have also not confirmed or denied the news, though tributes and condolence messages have begun to pour in from Kenyan leaders and the international community. A life of service and struggle, Raila Odinga, aged 80, was a towering figure in Kenya's political history, a man whose influence spanned decades of reform, resistance and national dialogue. The son of Kenya's first vice president, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Raila spent his life championing democracy and governance reforms. He served as Prime Minister from 2008 to 2013 under the Grand Coalition government formed after the disputed 2007 elections. Throughout his career, he remained a symbol of opposition politics, contesting multiple presidential elections and earning admiration and criticism in equal measure. Reactions and national mood shockwaves have rippled across Kenya and the African continent as news of his death spreads. Social media platforms have been flooded with messages of disbelief, grief and tributes to a man many considered the people's president. International leaders, including from the African Union and neighboring states, have expressed condolences, praising Odinga's dedication to democracy, regional peace, and Pan-African ideals. Awaiting official confirmation, Afrique 24 is closely monitoring this developing story and will update as soon as official confirmation and statements are released by the Odinga family and the Kenyan government. By Afrique 24 News Desk.